Yesterday, I closed a $5,800 sales call. This guy was extremely fearful. He'd never taken a bet or taken a risk on himself, and I was able to coach and help him through to make the best decision for him and his family. This deal took 40 minutes, and I ended up making just under $600. There is a ton of stuff that you may find valuable in this, so pay attention, take some notes, lock in, and I hope you find it valuable.
Hey, what's going on, Brian? How are we?
Hey there, I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you, see you, looking good, man. Welcome in. I appreciate you. Um, well, Brian, I know I sent over
Start the call, just easy, breezy, no stress. Yeah, welcome in, here you, see you, how you did.
maybe a couple of maybe some boring videos for you to check out just on iMessage. Did you get a chance to go through those at all?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did you get like a couple of boring videos? It's something I learned from my mentor. His name's Kurt. Closed millions of dollars in space. Just throwing a little bit of humor at the start, like lowers resistance. It's nothing crazy. It's not gonna make or break a sale, but it's gonna just lower that resistance a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't bore you too much, I hope.
No, it was good to get kind of like an idea of what the whole thing is about. Yeah.
Perfect. So you found those at least somewhat helpful?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. What was your biggest takeaway from those videos?
Well, I've kind of it kind of confirmed things that I've already kind of known, which is that like putting in the work is kind of the most important thing, and not being like afraid to.
First question: did you find those videos helpful? What was your biggest takeaway from those? Bang! We already have afraid. If he's bringing up being afraid, instantly I'm thinking, okay, this guy's got a lot of fear. He's maybe not done stuff in the past. He's been too scared. That's going to be the theme of the call. Instantly, I know that from the first question. So it's really helpful, and just getting straight into it. None of this. What's the weather like where you're at? Oh, I've been there. No one cares, bro. Like no one cares. Just make it conversational. Get straight in.
Make some sacrifices, sort of, but because I've tried things like this before, but I never really got off the ground, and I think the biggest thing holding me back is kind of the same story as I forget his name, but the kind of case study that you guys showed me is just.
That's good, right? Instantly, case study. He's pointing out something he's seen and he's recalling. Like he actually watched the videos. The intent's there. I can tell that from the get go. Shows me that this guy actually wants to make a change, and it's my job to help him in the best way I possibly can.
Confidence in doing it, and making the leap, and I think
Yeah,
that's been my biggest problem. So it kind of helped me to realize it's just about getting it done, and just doing it, starting it.
100%, man. And I appreciate the honesty already from the get go because a lot.
That is true. A lot of guys you'll have in sales calls, that's rare. Like to have that kind of level of open and honesty, which made it a little bit of an easier call. There were still obstacles that we had to overcome to get my guy to where he wants to be. But coming in open, I was very thankful for that.
A lot of people they they never really admit that to themselves, right?
Yeah.
Because that's super common. Like you're not on your own when it comes to that in terms of taking a leap and actually
Normalizing it, right? You're not on your own, man. Like that's normal.
getting uncomfortable. If we're being honest, because that's what it is. I guess in your own opinion, what is the biggest reason you're looking to actually, make money with AI right now and build your own AI agency?
Well, one
Why are we here? Straight away, like kind of first question.
is I understand how big AI is already, but also it's going to be. It's gonna do everything. But for me personally, it's just I don't like working for an employer, and I've been doing that since I got out of high school, but real jobs once I got out of college, and it's just like a drain on me mentally just to be tied down in that way. Asking somebody to go on a vacation or something, it just feels like you
Yeah.
feel trapped a little bit. But more than that, it, I'm looking to start a family. I don't have anybody yet, but I want to get to that point and be able to provide and for my mom and my dad, and I want to be able to travel. I'm actually on a road trip right now across America.
One thing there, when he's saying I want to be able to provide, that tells me that one, he can't provide right now. If he would just make no changes, obviously can't provide in the way he wants to. And um actually falling into this identity of someone who can provide. And you'll see later in the call going into that version of you who can actually provide, what do they do differently? Like what actions, beliefs, mindset? So you start getting him to fall into that belief. So when it comes to the end of the call, if he has uncertainty, has fear, you just go, hey, name. Do you remember when you mentioned to me earlier, like, what does that best version of you do in this moment when there's the fear, the uncertainty? They do it. Okay, so what do you need to do? And that's essentially what happened on this call.
Yeah. And it's just making me realize I'd like to have this freedom, to do what I want and also provide for people, close to me and stuff like that. So that's a really big driving factor for me.
Awesome. And one thing we're big on here, and what we find with our guys that really see the success they want to see, is like how attached they are to their why, right? The reason they're actually going to do it, because it's not easy. Again, like it's simple, but it's not easy to keep going when you don't see a extremely clear path, you don't see the success straight away. So for you, it feels like that why is being able to be that provider and just have the freedom and not have to rely on a job, a boss, right? Someone to tell you what to do, when to do it, right? Okay.
Right.
What is it that you do for work at the moment?
Well, at the moment, actually, I'm kind of in a transitionary period because I was doing delivery. I was a delivery driver for FedEx for like a year and a half. And I was just, obviously I was just getting tired of it, and it wasn't actually what I wanted to do or anything. So I quit that job, and I was going to go into air traffic controlling. Actually, my dad is an air traffic controller for 35 years, and he's always been telling me to do that, and it's a good career, But so I was planning on doing that, and so I quit my FedEx job, and I took the time in between to go on this road trip right now.
What does that tell you? It tells you he does not want to be going into air traffic control, right? If he genuinely wanted to do that and follow in his dad's footsteps, he would not be here right now. He wouldn't have taken the road trip. He would have just gone straight into it and never looked at something else. So
at the moment I'm unemployed, but I was kind of taking the first step to doing the air traffic controlling and everything. But it's not really what I want to do. I don't want to actually do that. So I'm trying to find a way to not have to do that and get some freedom, and that's kind of why I'm here.
Yeah. For you to not have to go and just get another job, right? And again, like not really do something you want to do. How much do you feel you need to be bringing in on a monthly basis, at the start to be able to avoid that, I guess?
Yeah, that's something I was thinking about. And pretty much if I had to kind of pick a minimum, it would be what I was making at FedEx. It was kind of just enough to support me, at least, with my lifestyle at the moment. Yeah. And it would just be, 3,000 to 3,500 a month would be like.
See, you can tell when someone's kind of low on confidence themselves, because they kind of go for like the lowest or the minimum of like, oh, it was enough to just support me. Where we want them we want to kind of bring him into this thinking of, okay, the version of you, right, where you actually want to be, the North Star, the goal, where you actually want to be, to support the family, give back to your parents. How much does he need to be making? So we can get him in this different way of thinking, so he can actually get to where he wants to be.
Just enough to support me and also save a little bit. That's important to me too, is saving a little bit. So
yeah, of course.
That would be like a minimum.
Awesome. And that's actually really good, because obviously that's extremely achievable fairly quickly. Obviously, if you're showing up and doing what you need to do as well. I guess beyond that, because you strike me as an ambitious guy and you want to have that level of.
That's not a massive thing, but I like doing that. Like, you strike me as X person, like labeling them something that's good. You strike me as an ambitious person. You strike me as a hardworking guy. Can't imagine you just want to settle for 3K. Oh no, you're right. I am a hardworking guy. Kind of give them a positive label that they want to fall into later in the call as well.
Freedom and give back to your parents and obviously future family. How much do you feel you'd actually want to be bringing in on a monthly basis to really live the life you want to live to the max?
Probably, well, and this might be overkill to actually achieve that, but I think I'd be really comfortable with 10,000 a month. I mean,
10K a month. Is that overkill? No. Is that extremely doable, especially with the model this is? Yes, 100%. It's like a couple clients, right? He said, I don't even know if it's doable. Again, lack of doubt, lack of confidence. It's already showing me that I'm going to have to put my arm around him, kind of hype him up a little bit, really almost tell him that he can do it.
I mean, I've always kind of had that in my head, over 100,000,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 10,000, yeah.
Okay. Well, from what you've seen from Jordan and the guys that we've worked with, Do you personally feel that 10K a month is achievable?
Now, the reason I asked that is the prospect needs to feel that their goals can actually be reached with this model, or else there is no point in them being here. If he was like, I want to hit 700 grand a month in the next year, and like, or else I don't want to do this, it doesn't make sense. There's a misalignment on where we want to be, right? Or if he didn't believe that we could get him to 10K a month, or the model can, it wouldn't even make sense to continue the call, or you'd have to kind of reshape and reframe his beliefs on that.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say so.
Okay, so he believes that 10K a month is doable. Great, we've got that.
Because that's important, right? If you in your mind don't believe it's possible, you won't see it. You won't get that success, right?
Kind of give him a reason as to why I asked the question, just so it makes sense in his mind, and he doesn't feel like I'm just bombarding him with questions that don't have a meaning for them.
Right. So having that belief, because 10K a month, I mean, that is extremely doable with AI and with what we've got going on. I mean, our average client, on average, right? If you're landing a client yourself between like 2 and 5K, that's like maybe even 2 clients a month, right? Do you feel like you can land 2 clients a month? Probably, right?
Right.
Because one thing you mentioned at the start, right? Actually, just putting in the work and almost taking that step. Why do you feel you haven't been able to take that step as of yet?
Get to the root cause, like why aren't we where we want to be? Maybe I would have asked this question in a slightly different way, because he mentioned he tried some stuff. Probably ask first, okay, how long have you actually been looking to hit 10K a month and have the freedom? Get a time frame on it, and then go into what have you tried? Why do you feel it hasn't happened yet? This is a bit premature, but he did give me quite a lot of stuff.
I think for me personally, it's always been just the how to get started, kind of the beginning stages of everything, and it's a lot.
How to get started isn't a legitimate excuse because it's 2025. Everyone has a phone. The internet is massive. You can ask ChatGPT how to get started, right? Now, what that means to me is that he probably needs guidance. He probably needs a mentor. He doesn't have the confidence in himself to start on his own, which I'm going to use later in the pitch in what we're selling to help him see that we can help him, if that makes sense.
Lack of knowledge, and then coming with that lack of knowledge is lack of confidence in that whatever I'm doing, and so I've always wanted to kind of work with somebody, and have somebody to kind of walk me through it or just work with me, and I hadn't really found anybody or a team or something that really I felt like I could do that well.
Now, when someone says this, I haven't found a team, I haven't found someone yet, that's not real either, because there are tens of thousands of gurus out there online who market themselves so they can be found. All it takes is one search, ecom, mentorship, copywriting course, sales course to find someone and then go and do your due diligence. So a lot of closers, I don't think, would put the responsibility back on them to go and find the person, whereas I think that's massive because at the end of the day, it's his responsibility to go and find the mentor for him, find someone that he trusts, which he's doing now.
So
okay,
so that lack of knowledge and then the lack of confidence that comes with that.
Right. Well, how do you gain confidence in anything?
Ask him, right? Don't tell him, ask him.
Well, I think doing it,
he knows the answer.
Yeah.
Helps. You know the answer, right? Yeah. Because I can sit here, or the first time you got in a car, right, when you're driving, were you confident? No, right? Like, why would you be? You've never done it before. But
I probably wouldn't jump straight to the answer. I'd probably just ask, like, first time you got in a car, were you, like, confident? Like, you'd sit in the car and just swing it down the motorway, like, no worries, no concerns? Oh, no, I was nervous. Okay. Well, how are you now driving a car? Are you, like, nervous or are you, like, pretty comfortable? Oh, I'm pretty comfortable. Well, why is that? Because you've done it so much. Okay, so it actually comes from overcoming that fear and getting started, right? Right, bang.
After a month, a year, you're like, oh, this is easy. You're throwing the windows down, driving at 70 miles an hour, right? You don't even think about it. It's the same.
Bit of humor, bit shit, but again, lowers the resistance.
Same thing. It's the same thing with this, right? And you mentioned there in terms of almost having a mentor or a guide to give you the information to start and kind of set you on the path. Why do you feel you haven't maybe reached out and found and invested into a mentor up until this point?
Again, like not allowing that to slip by as a bullshit objection. Why haven't you found that? Placing the blame or the responsibility back on him? Why haven't you found the mentor that you need?
I guess, if I'm being honest, I guess paying maybe, well, I mean, I guess a mentor is the resources always cost money, and money is, I like to be conservative generally, but it's also if I trust somebody, if I trust that they'll provide what I need or something, I would be more inclined. But I haven't found that I haven't found the trust really. I guess a mentor, is not always about the money, but even that is how do I find the right mentor? How do I find what I'm looking for and trust? Something like that.
Yeah, I get that completely. I guess, how are you ever going to know if it's like the right person?
I know that that's bullshit because you gain trust by watching content, following someone, and then taking a leap, right? That's how you gain trust. But I'm curious to hear what his perspective is.
I mean, I guess it comes back to doing it, but I mean, I guess that's what the taking the chances, and just doing it.
See, everything comes back to action, and that's going in anything in life. It all comes down to just fucking doing it. Not to get all motivational, this is something I need to remember myself because there's always limiting beliefs in our own mind. Um, but it just comes down to fucking grabbing a pair of balls and taking the leap. You're gonna be okay.
Right, because you're obviously a smart guy, and I don't feel like you'd be here if you felt that we weren't potentially the right guys, or from what you've seen from Jordan, the model, everything that we've got, that we could help you to get to where you want to be. But it's very easy to fall into this mindset of always wanting to do.
I probably wouldn't tell him that again. I'd ask. Just looking back, saying, okay, well, from what you've seen from influencer, with what we've got going on, do you actually like? I can't imagine you'd be here if you didn't feel like we could actually help, right? Oh no, I do. Okay, what made you feel confident in us? Just kind of get him to buy back in a little bit. That's probably what I would have done.
More research and gain more trust when in reality,
Yeah.
there's only a certain level of information gathering to the point where right? Deep down,
Right.
it's about taking the leap, right? Because if we look at the version of Brian who is crushing 10K a month and is able to lead his future family and even give back to his parents now, what actions do you and maybe beliefs do you feel he does differently?
Again, like falling into you're where you're at now, unemployed, making 3.5K a month. That's your kind of cap on income. What does the best version of you do? Get him to fall into that.
It's just I think for me, I may not be right, but this is just how I see it. It's just a confidence thing. It's a feeling like I know my place and what I'm capable of, and investing in that, and then just being. I mean, yeah, that's what I think it is just confidence. Is confidence in what I'm doing, and just myself
Right.
to be able to do it.
Right. And again, like how do we get that confidence? How do you become that confident version of yourself?
Yeah, like because confidence isn't you don't just get confident, right? You become confident by doing things repeatedly over and over again. Like when you first step into a gym, are you confident in the way you look? Are you confident in the exercises and the movements you're doing in the gym? Fuck no. I was like 100 kg at 17. Was I confident in myself? No. Am I more confident now that I've lost 20 kg and, built muscle? Yes, but that comes from taking the actions.
Just doing it. Honestly,
Bang, every time, hammer. What does it come back down to? It's just taking the actions.
I think it's just for me. It's just about taking the leap. I know that I can do it and I want to do it, but it's just about taking that first step and just doing it.
100%, like Nike, right? Just do it.
Again, shit joke. Something I got off someone's call I watched. Shit joke, but funny.
That's all it is. I guess for you, Brian, why do you feel like now you actually want to take that leap?
I don't think that transition was like that great. A little bit like me, but getting the why now, like why is now you actually the time you want to take it? I can almost assume that it's because obviously he's coming up on having to go back to work. He's at this crossroads where he's being able to travel now, but can't travel forever with no income. So that's, I mean, I know, but I want him to say it.
Because most people, they never do. And they stay and they work the same 12 months for 50 years. Like, why do you feel you actually want to take that leap?
I like that question in terms of comparing. Again, it's an identity thing. Most people do this, and we know where that's left you. Most people don't take actions, they fall into this repetitive cycle. Why now do you not want to do that? Right?
It's one right now in particular. It's because I'm on this road trip, and I've realized, it's not that I'm running low on money, but I have to think about the money, and I'm kind of looking to get back home, so I'm not spending so much. But then it's like, but this is what I like doing. Like I've always wanted to do this, and now I'm like, oh, now I can't really do it as much as I want to, and so that's like, it's just really making me realize this is what I want to do. I want to be able to have the freedom to do this. But now I'm looking to get back and start, whatever this next thing is that I'm going to do, it's likely going to be the thing that I do for a long time. Hopefully not. I don't want it to be. But like if I were to get back and get started in another career, I'd be, semi stuck in that. And I just don't want to get there,
Yeah, because we know where that leads, right? You know that's not going to allow you to live the life you want to live by just staying. Right. Because when you almost look
there, my dad showed me that. Bang! I'm tapping into that straight away. Because a big thing is people looking at older people in their life, people that they've seen like grow up. Dad's a good example. It's like, okay, you've seen your dad work a 9 to 5 for 50 years. What does it make you feel internally when you look at that?
Look at your dad and you see his life, and I'm sure you obviously love him and respect him. But when you look at the lifestyle that he has, what goes on for you internally when you see that?
It's just not, I guess maybe it's just a personality thing. He just kind of has a different personality than me, but he's not looking. He's not looking to make, or he doesn't see the. I don't know what it is, actually. Now thinking about it,
he's really thinking. Like he's genuinely thinking on this call. That's what you want.
But really, what it was while I was growing up. And it was, he was air traffic controller, which is it's much more intense kind of schedule and work to do. But he wasn't around a lot, like he loved us and he was good to us and everything. He provided for us, but I didn't see him a lot. He had a weird schedule. He was sleeping, weird hours, and so I didn't get to see him too much. It kind of made my mom upset, those types of things. I don't want to be in that position. I want to, I want to be able to provide, but also spend time, and have that freedom. Right. And then the other thing was, I used to work in a office job, and I would see people there like 60, 70 working the same job in this office. They come to the office every single day for years and years and years. And I was just like, that scared me. It was like a scary thought to have.
It's not scared him enough though, because we're still in this position and he's mid to late 20s, I think he said. He's still in this position where he's not achieved where he wants to be, and he's on the path to following exactly what those guys are doing. So you'll see in a second, I ask a question, what do you feel is the difference between the people who actually escape and live the life they want to live compared to the guys who just settle and end up working the same job for 50 years? Oh, they actually take action. Again, allowing him to fall back into that version of himself, the guy that takes action.
That I wouldn't do that,
Right. And when you look at that together, like the guys who are in similar positions to yourself and they make it out, they achieve their goals and they hit 10K a month, what do you feel they do differently compared to those same people who kind of settle and just, again, stay in the job for the next 50, 60 years and potentially miss out on moments with their family and the freedom?
Well, I think it's just a mindset thing. It's a desire for something more, and I just really think that that's kind of what it comes down to. But even if somebody working an office job had that same mentality, they have a different way of going about it, and their way is just the traditional way, and they think that maybe they didn't want to take the risk, you know, and then somebody else who achieves their goals of $10,000 a month or something, I think that they are willing to take that risk. You know, they're willing to kind of go out and get what they actually want, not
Bang. Went a roundabout way a little bit, but they're willing to go about getting what they actually want. And what do you want? I want to make 10K a month. So what do you need to do? I need to take the risk.
a kind of like a smaller version of it, you know, because I'm sure these people in the office make money, save money, and they can do something every now and then, you know. But
That's a key word though, right? You said they're allowed to.
Bang. Cook.
exactly,
Right?
exactly.
They don't have the choice.
Not to toot my own horn, but that was cold.
They
Exactly.
almost get allocated time, right? Because if we look at that, right, say we never overcome this uncertainty and this almost fear, right, and we just allow it to control us and stop us from taking the leap. If you really almost envision that, what does your life
Sorry, I
look
can't
like?
hear you.
Cost of an action. What happens if nothing changes? Pretty simple. I know where it is. It wasn't even necessary here. Like, he knows exactly where the cost of an action is going. Just a quick one, we'll move on.
Well, what does your life actually look like moving forward if you don't make any changes?
It's I mean, as I keep saying, it's just up to me to just make the choice, make the decision, and just start doing it. I'm ready to do it. You know, I'm ready to just get into it. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just that. I think for me, that's all it comes down to. I kind of know that I have what it takes to do it. It's just about realizing it for myself, you know, and just getting into it, you know.
Yeah. Because there's always going to be that like resistance to change.
This is a frame I got from a good friend, Kurt, my mentor, and it's so good.
Right, no matter how much money you have,
I can't hear you again.
Resistance to change, right? No matter who you are, no matter what position you're in, how much money you make, change is always scary, right? How do I know? Because I've done it. And I've been in a very similar position.
Bring in a little personal story. I had the resistance, I overcame it, and I'm on a better side of it now, and that's true. I'm not lying to him. Bring that in.
To yourself, where there is that uncertainty, it's about taking action, right? And the way I almost see it is there's like an angel on one shoulder and like a devil on the other. Now, the devil, what does he want you to do?
Just stay where I am. Don't grow. Don't, you know, not able to provide for myself, my family. I mean, that's just the nagging thought in your head. You know, I don't know if I can do it, and should I do this? What's the safer option? And it's just
Right.
not how you grow. It's not how you achieve your goals. You know.
100%, right? And that's like the comfortability. He wants you to stay stagnant. Whereas the angel, what does the angel want you to do?
Again, it's not necessarily take risks, but they want you to fulfill your destiny, but they just kind of want you to fulfill what you know you can do, and be able to get past the things that hold you back, you know, just past the obstacles.
Bang. So we know that there's a devil on his shoulder that's going to tell him to stay comfortable when it comes to that uncertain decision, when it comes to putting, you know, getting real, getting the money in. There's going to be uncertainty. What does the angel say? Tells you to do it.
In order to get past the obstacles, like, what do you need to do though?
I probably would have asked, okay, and to actually live the life you want to live, like, who do you need to listen to? The angel. Why would you say that? Because he wants you to grow. He wants you to do. And then even pull it back and be like, well, look, name. Everyone wants to listen to the angel, right? Everyone, you know, when it's easy, they want to listen to that good side of themselves. But when it comes down to it and there is that resistance to change, who are you actually going to listen to? The angel. I want to hold you to that. Like, I'm going to hold you to that standard. Is that fair? You don't have to do that, but something I do sometimes.
You know, for me, having the knowledge that I have of myself, I think it's just to take the leap, but you know, I may not know the full story. You know, I may not even know what it actually takes. It's kind of why I look for a team or a mentor, somebody to help me through. You know.
Absolutely, and that's what we're here for, right? That's exactly why Jordan set this up, to help guys like yourself to achieve answers. You know what you need to do. It's just not letting that devil win, right? That we can help you if you want the help as well.
I wouldn't say I genuinely believe. Maybe with this guy, it's not as bad because he kind of needs that arm around the shoulder. But with more skeptical prospects or stuff like that, it can come off a little bit salesy. I personally prefer I do think that we can help you like based on our conversation. Like if you want the help, like you're not needy. I don't. Yeah, man. I know for a fact we can 100% help you get to where you want to be. It's like, whoa, we've spoke for 25 minutes. Like you know that. Certainly, I'm not sure. That's what will go on in my mind.
Right. Mm-hmm. Would you like us to be able to help you get to where you want to be?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Bought in, right? Like 100%.
Cool. All right. Well, that's good to know there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty much it actually. So
awesome. Well, just so you're crystal clear, what we obviously do is we get you set up, put you in the position where you want to be, get you set up with your onboarding call, and then from there everything's like crystal clear. Have access to the community, course content, weekly group calls, obviously starting from tomorrow, and you're good to go, man. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. And in terms of the enrollment, how would you like to take care of that? Credit, debit, what would work best for you?
It'd probably be debit. I just need to make sure that I got enough funds in the account.
Yeah,
but
let me know.
It'd be debit.
Okay, easy stuff. Well, again, Brian, like we have a couple different ways we can like break it down.
Closers talk about you shouldn't offer payment plans. Fucking go for the PIF every single time. Like, yeah, cool, get the PIF if you can get the PIF. But at the end of the day, you're there to help this person get out of their own way. And if it's going to make it easier for them to actually join and take the steps, if they need to break it up, fucking break it up. Don't be a prick, right? Don't lose the deal because you want the PIF. I don't give a shit if they break it up, right? Obviously, I'm not going to be like, well, we can just break it down. Like, here's a payment plan, right? Obviously, I'd rather get the cash collected because I get paid on the amount that I collect. But if it makes it easier for him, I know he's not got an income. It's about context. Just break it up. Don't be a dick.
Into more manageable chunks.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know it's 2025, right? We've all got one of these. Our internet banks on there and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. Let me know, right? Because again, we can work it together.
Let him know that I'm on his side. Like we can work this out together.
Does that work for you? The 5,800.
Just see where he's at. Like, does that work for you? Is that going to put you in a tough spot? That's what I might ask. Like, say if we got you started with the 5,800, is that doable, or is that going to put you in a spot where like, you know, it would be really tight, or like you'd be struggling? Because again, like we're not in the business of doing that. Like really coming from a frame of I want to help you out and do this in the way that makes sense for you, because that's what I want to do.
Or put off the last 800 a little later or something like that. You know, that would be good, but yeah. You know.
Yeah. Well, if we were able to figure something out where it made you feel more comfortable, not that I want you to come into this being comfortable, because then you probably won't take the actions you need to take. But if say we were able to figure something out where we covered 5,000 today and then 800 in a month or even 2 months, or broke that up over 3 months or something like that, would that help you get started, do you feel?
Yeah, probably.
Looking back now, good question. Would that help you get started? Probably, or definitely. Like you let me know. Yeah, no, it would, right? Because you can tell there's a bit of uncertainty there.
Do you want to do that then? You let me know.
So $5,000 one is yeah. You know, I'll make that jump.
Again, like I'll make that jump. He said yes, but I'm not done, right? I don't fully believe he is 100% confident, and I want to make him see and show him that I'm here for him.
Are you sure? Because again, like you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, good question, bro.
And I don't want you to feel like you want to join just because, you know, you're here and we've had the conversation.
No, yeah.
I want you to make sure that you're 100% committed. I think you are, and I genuinely think we can help you, which is why I even offered you almost an opportunity here.
Bit salesy, bit shit. At the end of the day, if he's got money, I'll offer him a spot because that's my job. But again, like I do want to help the guy. But coming off, like again, like are you 100% sure? Because the easiest thing you could do is nothing and just continue doing what everyone else does. Like get him brought back in. No, I'm sure. Okay, let's get you started.
Yeah.
So because I want you coming into this with full confidence and clarity that we're going to do everything we can, and you got me in your corner every step of the way. Okay.
again, arm around the shoulder. You got me in your corner every step of the way.
And I trust that, but it's always this part that gets me thinking, and then maybe I shouldn't do it, and then that puts me right back to where I am.
Uncertainty, and he knows, like, he's going through it in his own head. This guy's really aware, which is sick. He knows that this is the point where he gets scared and gets spooked and jumps off the call, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure he doesn't do that. Not because I'm going to get the sale, but because it's going to help him.
Right.
So
there's that little devil on the shoulder, right?
Exactly.
Just bring it back to what we
talked
about.
That's a lot of money. He's giving you every reason you wanted to have. But
I probably wouldn't have said it's a lot of money, but like, just mentioning devil's a good thing.
You look at the Brian 2.0, the guy who's making 10K a month and has the confidence and crushing it. What does he do right here, right now to put himself in that position?
Bring it back to the goal. 10K a month, crushing it, helping his family. What does he do now?
Well, he does it.
Bang.
he takes the step. I'll go ahead and make that step for sure.
Bang. Now there's a couple things with payments, like in terms of logistics. Split it over 2 cards. It'll be like, investment now, investment later. But we got him in.
I just saw that come through, Brian. How did that feel?
I'm not like, cool, money's in, here's the onboarding, bye, never speaking to you again, leave him in the dirt. I genuinely want this guy to win. How did that feel to take that step?
To make that commitment?
Yeah, it's what's going to keep me here.
He knows, bro. Broski locked in. But not just treating your prospects like pieces of meat. Learn this, please. Like, people will get less burn when you treat them like real people. It's a real guy on the other end of the call.
That's what that's my commitment basically, and I'm excited to get started, and I'm anxious to actually get the ball rolling on it.
Awesome. Because look, Ryan, like I felt the exact same way. Like I'm just invested, like all this money. Like what do I do, right?
Again, like kind of giving in that frame, like this is normal. You're gonna feel anxious. You're gonna feel nervous. Like it's cool. I was there. Now I'm here.
One thing for me, I'm very selfish. I'm a selfish English man.
Just a little bit of humor at the end of the call. Again, allow him to see that I'm on his side. This is something, again, I got from Kurt. Everything I got from Kurt, apparently.
If I can ask you to just save my number, that way when you land your first client, I'm one of the first people to know. If that's fair, you let me know.
Yeah, sure. I already got saved on my phone anyway. So
again, at the end of the call, just being like, look, man, if you need anything, like reach out. I've got you. I'm on your side. Welcome in. Proud of you. Let's get started. So he's not going to flake and just get scared and ask for a refund because he has buyer's remorse in 24 hours, right? And Brian's going to go on and crush it. I know it, right? If you want to learn about sales and how to actually do something like this, drop me a DM on Instagram. If you're a little bit high level and you know kind of the basics of a sales call, but you want to kind of improve, I'll point you in the direction of my guy Kurt. This is someone I personally invest into and pay every single month to teach me this stuff. He's got a mentorship, he's got a group. It's extremely high level. It's for people who want to set the standards. That's what it's called. And I can't recommend it enough. And if you're wanting to get into sales, I wouldn't recommend Kurt stuff just because I think it's a little bit too much too soon if you're a little bit of a beginner. But I do know a couple guys, and might be able to point you in the right direction if you're someone who wants to invest in themselves, like Brian's done here, like I've done when I've invested over 30, 40, 50 grand up until this point into my skill set, into myself at the end of the day, right? So I practice what I preach. I hope you lot found value from this video. I know it's the first one. You might be thinking, who the fuck is this kid? Closed well over 1 million, if not 2. I need to check at this point, and generated through setting well over 2.5 mil as well. Been in the space for 2 years. I think I know what I'm talking about. I'm not the best closer by any means, but I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, and comment. If you made it to this point in the video, comment Evian, and I will send you a tenner. But if you skipped, I'll know. Okay, sweet.